The president is, shall we say, in an altered state right now, so I don't know how to answer for his behavior.
So it's been a very interesting journey. I learned a lot about COVID. Now I'm better, and maybe I'm immune. I don't know. But don't let it dominate your lives. I feel great. I feel like perfect. So I think this was a blessing from God that I caught it. This was a blessing in disguise.
These people should be indicted. This was the greatest political crime in the history of our country. And that includes Obama, and it includes Biden.
Well, I'd like to come back to the White House soon to do another interview, Mr. President. I'd love to come back to the White House. I saw it up close and personal. Why isn't Hillary Clinton being indicted
for terminating 33,000 emails that she got from Congress? I figured there would be a chance that I would catch it. Sometimes I'd be in groups of, for instance, Gold Star families. I met with Gold Star families. I didn't want to cancel that. They come within an inch of my face sometimes. They want to hug me and they want to kiss me. And they do. And frankly, I'm not telling them to back up. I'm not doing it. I don't think I'm contagious at all. And this monster that was on stage with Mike Pence, who destroyed her last night, by the way, but this monster, she says, no, there won't be fracking. There won't be this. Everything she said is a lie. I don't believe the polls because we've never had this much support. They have a boat thing. They have 5,000 boats. They have thousands of trucks all over the country.
I took over a depleted military, old equipment, broken equipment. Even in the Army, all brand new uniforms with the belt. Everybody wanted the belt. We're taking care of our seniors. You're not vulnerable, but they like to say the vulnerable, but you're the least vulnerable. But for this one thing, you are vulnerable, and so am I.
They want to take care of certain little tiny fish that aren't doing very well without water, to be honest with you.
The president is, shall we say, in an altered state right now, so I don't know how to answer for his behavior.
What a week it's been. It was exactly 1 week ago that President Trump went public with his COVID diagnosis. Now he says he's ready to return to the campaign trail, maybe as soon as tomorrow.
So, Willie, Meek and I, we have rules before we come on this show. I'm not allowed to talk about baseball for long periods of time, nor am I allowed to talk about our lost decade in Turkey, you and me. What a decade that was, by the way.
Okay.
So, but for her, I have not allowed her to utter the phrase 25th Amendment, because every morning she has wanted to utter the
right
words
all along.
25th Amendment. And I say, honey, you can't say that every day. And she says, honey, I can if I feel like it. Well, Willie, here we have the president saying he's immune. We have the president of the United States pressuring his attorney general. Republicans, please listen. Pressuring his attorney general to indict his political opponent who's beating him in the polls, to indict his last Democratic opponent, to indict the last Democratic president, saying he'll be a sad man if he doesn't do it. And Trump said he'll have to basically do it himself if he gets reelected. Blames Gold Star families for giving him COVID. Says I'm not contagious, despite the fact he wouldn't tell Sean Hannity repeatedly last night when his last test was, whether he's been tested, whether he's negative. He calls Kamala Harris, the vice presidential nominee for the Democratic Party, a monster repeatedly, calls her a communist, talks about when he became president, he had to give the Army new uniforms with belts. Everybody likes the belts. He returned to the White House when doctors didn't want him to return to the White House. He went to the West Wing when people inside the White House were begging him to not go to the West Wing. Now he's talking about going out on the campaign trail when no doctor that was worth a damn would allow him to go out on the campaign trail. Somebody, and I guess this is a very sad indictment or just a sad statement on his life. He doesn't have anybody close enough to him that loves him enough that he trusts enough that can keep him from continuing to destroy himself and politically destroying his campaign and politically destroying Republicans across the country. That tell him he just needs to sit down. And yes, he is on steroids. He's still on steroids that would make our loved ones take extra care.
Well, they'd have to take time off
in what we do because of the impact it would have, especially if we were just coming off of COVID or if we still had COVID. There is nothing normal about this. He's not, it does not sound like he is equipped right now to be president of the United States, and may not be until his steroid treatment it runs its course. George W. Bush turned over the presidency during procedures to Dick Cheney twice. It's happened before. It happened with Ronald Reagan. And I think it's safe for a lot of Americans, fair for a lot of Americans to say, shouldn't this guy just take a rest for a week and let Mike Pence assume the presidency until he gets better?
As long as Mike Pence is okay.
If Mike Pence is okay. We don't know that right now either.
Yeah, you cannot listen to or watch those two interviews, bookended first in the morning with Maria Bartiromo and then at night with Sean Hannity, and think the president is okay. That's not a political statement. That's a human statement, just listening to the way his brain is working right now. I would add into that comprehensive list you laid out, Joe, blaming Gold Star families, floating the idea anyway that he might have caught it in the East Room on Sunday. I point out that that was the day after the Supreme Court event in the Rose Garden, which most doctors and tracing experts have looked at as the sort of vector, as the event, the super spreader event. He's talking about an event the next day inside the White House, blaming Gold Star families possibly for giving him coronavirus. And the second is attacking Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer on the same day that a plot was revealed to kidnap her and possibly murder her. He's attacking that governor on that day because she was critical of the president in her remarks. So taken in total, Joe, yesterday, and then you add in those taped videos, which honestly, if you're the White House media team or the video team, how do you let those go out? Don't you say, Mr. President, let's stop and try that again. We're doing this on tape. It was rambling. It made no sense. The whole day was a complete mess. And again, not as a political statement, as an American, you don't want your president looking and sounding like that.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.